faster. Dang, you dropped again. Stop it. Start reeling. A little faster, right off the jump. There you go, perfect speed. He's on, he's on. Up. Right there.
I'm not sure if anybody's counting, but that's 2 for 2. 2 casts, 2 fish. Is this cheating? This is the 5th fishing excursion I've done with Smith's Fishing Adventures, and although all have been great in their own right, this is my new favorite. Although we just gave you a clip that made it look easy, it is not that easy, but it is fun. Jason equates it to playing a video game, which makes it the best of both worlds. Gaming, but for real targets. No matter what your take on it, live scoping is becoming more and more popular, and Jason shares his expertise and thoughts on live scoping in today's newest episode with Smith's Fishing Adventures. Jason described this, compared it to gaming. I would say cheating. I'm not sure what everybody else would say. We are live scoping today, and Jason, I'm gonna tell you, this is way more fun than I realized.
A lot of people say that, yeah. It's a blast, you know. You can come out and really watch the fish eat, tell what your fish are doing, and you know, if you're gonna fish, you know if there's fish there or not. And that's a plus whenever you go fishing, to know you're actually fishing fish.
I agree. So now explain this. Explain, and obviously we're gonna show this, but explain what's going on, what live scoping is, and then I've got a lot of questions for you.
No, not a problem. Live scoping. I have a transducer on my trolling motor. Basically, it's showing us in real time what's under the water. I'm driving around, I'll find a brush pile, and I can look at the brush pile by looking at my screen and tell there's fish on that brush pile. They light up, you can watch the fish swim around, you can watch your bait go down, you can watch these fish eating the shad that they're naturally eating every day. It's really unique. It's taught me a lot about crappie fishing in general, and really all fish. I originally bought this thing to find bait for catfish, to make it a lot easier to catch bait. Started using it for paddlefish. Last year I really got into the crappie and really just spent the whole last year learning the crappie world and trying to figure out the crappie fishing. And if it wasn't for this, I mean, I've always caught crappie in the past, but this at least tells me, hey, I'm doing the right thing today.
Right. Well, and, you know, so I use the word cheating because obviously when you have a screen where you can see the bait go down, you can see the fish attack the bait, but it's not that easy.
It's not as easy. You know, a lot of people assume that it's just cheating, that because you got live scope, you're gonna go out and just absolutely wipe out fish. After I take everybody live scope, and a lot of people will go buy a live scope, but I've spent a year doing this, and it's hard enough for me to keep you guys on fish, let alone me fish with you guys fish at the same time. It really takes a certain kind of person, and that's why I kind of say it's like gaming. Being a gamer my whole life, I always enjoyed video games, and translating my hands to the screen is part of gaming, and this just takes it to the water. I'm gaming on the water. I'm taking my hands to the screen, and I'm utilizing my skill to catch these fish.
Right. And you said, though, what we're looking at is not reverse, but it's not the direction that you think it is.
Right. The best way I can explain it is when you're looking at your screen, in the top we have a 0 mark, and that is where my transducer is sitting. I am looking in front of my boat. This isn't a left or right screen like your standard Sonar or whatever. I liken it to telling people that if you were to turn your screen like this, that's what I'm looking at in the water. I'm looking in a straight line in front of my boat. Your transducer out front shoots up, it's basically a pie shape. So we're shooting a pie off of this in a forward angle. Anything that's in that, we're seeing on the screen. If you're 2 foot to the left, 2 foot to the right of being directly in front of my transducer, you won't see anything.
Now you mentioned, though, that it's delayed too. So if you're trying to solely rely on bait, water, fish on bait, like, it won't work.
It's delayed by about a second. There's about a second delay between the time that what happens in the water and what you see on the screen. Most of the time, if you're relying just solely on the screen to hook up the fish, they've already bought our bit and moved on by the time you're even seeing the strike. So you kind of see the fish move and you know it's happening. A lot of people, when they're fishing, I'm watching the fish eat the bait and swim off. They've already had it 5 seconds, and some people just don't ever feel it. And It happens. It takes a long time to get used to live scoping.
Yeah.
It's not something where you're going to slap a live scope on your boat and tomorrow you're going to go out and just wipe out fish.
Yeah.
I studied it really hard. I had some really good people teaching me how to use it. And I spent, a good portion of a whole year learning this graph. Yep.
Well, and it was interesting. So I sat and watched my dad and Brian fish before I did it, and then I just chose not even to look at the screen. And it was literally we were gaming. It was like we were gaming together.
Yep.
You're telling me, okay, drop, where to drop it, when to stop it, when to stop the drop, the bail, when to start reeling, how fast to reel, when to set the hook.
Yeah.
And it was I was like, we had a rhythm.
Kind of working together, yeah. Right. Kind of like the little boats where you got the guy driving the pilot. I'm the pilot, and you're the guy driving.
The throttle man and the pilot.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, from a novice fishing perspective, if you haven't done this on your own, I would highly recommend you come out and do it with Jason, because doing exactly I could sit here and do this all day.
Yeah.
It was one after another, and we missed a few, and we didn't.
Once you get a feel for it, and the fish are feeding, you can catch them as fast as you can drop them to them.
Yeah.
You can sit on a pile, and we noticed it already. Yeah. We sat on a tree. It's probably got 1,000 fish on it. We caught 15 fish off of it. We couldn't get another thing to bite.
Yeah.
And it's just, some fish aren't feeding at that time. The really hungry ones are going to eat it right away.
Yeah.
And if we pick off all the good ones that we see, we can move on to the next brush pile. But this tells you what's happening. Yeah. It's no longer picking a real good spot right here behind us. We got a couple sitting on this hedgerow behind us, and it's a well-known spot to go sit on a tree and catch some fish. But in the same aspect, if they don't have live scope, they can fish that tree out in 2 seconds, or just pick a tree that has nothing on it.
Yeah. Now you mentioned feel, and we are using a fishing rod that is 11 feet?
This one's 11 foot.
And that's a short one,
That's a short one, yep.
It's hard to get feel on an 11-foot
It's
rod.
different, yes. Braid helps a lot. You take the stretch out of the line. If you add braid to it, you feel it a lot better. But braid's really a hard line to deal with. It wraps up, knots up, makes a mess quite often. With people in my boat, I prefer to use a mono. It's a little bit more forgiving, a little easier, user-friendly of a line. Takes a little bit of that bite away, but so does an 11-foot rod.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's where teamwork comes in play.
that's where teamwork comes in, yeah.
So, what any specific gear that you want to tell us about today?
No, you want to hand me that rod? I'll kind of show you what I'm using. I'm using an ACC crappie stick. It's 11-foot medium action. Pair that with a $25 Shimano Siona reel is all I use. These setups cost you about $100 for the rod and the pole. I prefer an 11-footer. It's a lot lighter. It's a lot more balanced. Start getting those 13, 15-footers. It's a little heavier of a rod. When you're swinging a rod all day, it gets a little much.
Now explain for someone who doesn't know what is the purpose of having these long rods?
Let's point out front. So, purpose of the long rod, for people that don't know and people that are trying to live scope with a 7-foot rod. 7-foot rod, if I were to drop it off, my line would literally be in front of my trolling motor. So I'd be at a fear of pulling my line in my trolling motor. 11-foot, I can reach out 8 foot. 13-footer, I can reach out about 10 foot. So I'm closing distance, and I'm getting out in front of my boat. In situations where my boat's spooking fish, it's really a necessity to be able to get as far away from your boat as you want. Our conditions we're fishing now, we're only fishing, we're fishing 10 to 20 foot deep today. Your boat really don't spook those fish near as much. Well, I got the gear out. Let me show you this hook I'm using. Yep. Because this is kind of key to my minnow success, the way I rig my minnows. This particular hook is the same thing I'm using on the jig head. It's a 1/4 ounce. number 2 hook with a wire keeper. Now the purpose of this wire keeper in a jig body is it goes into the plastic and it keeps your jig from backing off. I am actually running this hook through the belly of a minnow, or through the mouth coming out the belly, and I am stabbing this into their head, and it keeps my minnow on my hook like a jig body. And I'll tell you, I have a whole lot of success fishing like that with a minnow as my jig body, especially this time of the year during the summer. That's my preferred method. I am dropping in on my crappie and I'm slowly reeling away and getting a reaction bite. I'm not just holding it in their nose like we would be this time of the year with a jig typically. The minnow, it seems like if they're hungry, they're gonna rush out to eat that thing. Really have good success with the minnow. So I've had a couple questions about why I use a 1/4 ounce lead or some different methods of getting down to your fish whenever you're fishing for crappie in a little deeper water. So you can see your gear on your live scope whenever you're putting your gear in the water. I use a 1/4 ounce head. It's got a little bit bigger so I get a good reflection in my transducer, so I get to see that pretty good. For you that are still struggling or don't want to use a 1/4 ounce jig head, there's a couple products out there and a couple ways to do this. If I were going to the cheapest way, you can get a 3 ounce egg sinker and you can run your line through it and loop it through twice, and then tie your jig head on the end. And then that allows you to have pressure on your sinker on the line. You can move your sinker up and down your line. And that gives you a sinker up here, so you have two things to look at in your transducer, and you'll see those moving down. Another product that I do not have any of currently, but I'm gonna tell you about. This company right here, Dragon Master, you can see it up here, makes a product. I'm gonna show you what it is, but this is for catfish. But it's the same product in a smaller version. And instead of using that egg sinker, they make some 2 and 3 inch versions of this that you tie in line above your jig head, and it gives you a really good transducer signal. Now this is for catfish. This is a dragon weight. It's meant to tie line front and back, but imagine a 2 inch version of this, and you tie this in line, and then you tie another line with your sinker tied off under about 2 inches of this. And this has a lot of reflective property in your transducer. And they're about 2 to 3 inches long, and it's a little bit of weight. So it actually gets tied in, and then you tie your jig on the bottom of it. So it'd only be about that long. But it gives you that real good transducer feedback that you're looking for. Again, it's made by Dragon Master. It is a crappie product meant just for this. I believe Todd Huckleby is using a lot of them nowadays, but it helps you find your crappie gear on the transducer. Other than that, I pretty much just use 1/4 ounce jig heads most of the year around. I do switch to 1/8 ounce in the winter, and I like to run double 1/8 in the winter. And you can see that really good, but I would suggest for your average guy, just tie an egg sinker about 6 inches above your lead, and just loop your line through the eyelet twice and go around, and then you can move your egg up and down to make your transducer really shine so you can see your gear. Hey guys, I just wanted to tell you about my new motor I got this year. It's a little dirty right now, sorry, I live on a gravel road. This is the new Suzuki 250. I believe they call this the Phantom. It's a blacked out model. I got this from Truman Lake Marine. I am pro staff for Suzuki and Truman Lake Marine. They put this bad boy on my boat this year. I can't say enough about Truman Lake Marine and everything they do for me. They maintenance my boat from front to back. I dropped off my boat 2 days later. I had the motor on and I was ready to go. They do all my maintenance, all my oil changes. If I have a problem with my boat, 90% of the time I can drive to Truman Lake Marine when it happens, and within an hour I'm back on the water. I can't say enough about these guys and everything they do to keep me on the water and keep you guys on fish. So Truman Lake Marine, Warsaw, Missouri. You're looking for a new Suzuki, Mercury, Yamaha, I believe they do it all. Oil changes, any kind of work on your newer motors, they're the place to go to. So once again, I can't say enough about them and everything they do for us.
So Jason, we've now done catfish twice. We've done spoonbill or paddlefish, whatever you want to call them. We trolled for crappie.
Yep.
Now we've live scoped for crappie. What's next?
I think we're gonna go back to Lake of the Ozarks for a while. I'll go back and do some more winter catfishing this year. How about that?
I'm down for that.
Winter catfishing's fabulous.
We're recording this in early September, so I think we're looking at some fall fishing and deep winter fishing for trying to catch a big ass crappie.
Yep, and if we do some big ass crappie, we'll probably go to Truman Lake up around the Clinton area.
And what time of year would that be?
Anytime after October, really.
Really?
Yeah, they're starting to get really good right now. I'd let them pattern up and get a little bit more dense where you're actually going up there and fishing for schools of fish. Right now it's one fish here, one fish there.
Yeah.
We're catching some really good fish up there. It's just real sporadic right now.
Yeah, you said you fished yesterday and you caught what, pound and a halfers? Is that
Yeah,
what you said?
about a bunch of pound and quarter, pound and halfers. Yeah,
Nice.
Caught a good amount of big quality, pound plus fish yesterday. Just a little slow,
Yep. So somebody wants to get out with you. How do they do so?
You can contact me at Smith's Fishing Adventures on Facebook. My phone number is 573-268-4082. Or you can look at my website, mofishingguide.com.
And if you haven't seen our other excursions, they're all on this channel, so make sure you're subscribed to Lake Ozarks Lifestyle because we sprinkle these in. And every single one of them have been on this channel, including when we took out the gals.
Yep.
That was fun. So stay tuned. I guess this is like an every other month thing for us now, I think.
Yeah, it's a blast. I enjoy it.
Appreciate you, man.
No problem, anytime.
Did today's episode change your opinion on live scoping? Either way, the evolution of technology will not be slowing down. All we can do is hope that future generations continue to enjoy the great outdoors and pastimes like fishing, as all of the generations before us. The sport has changed, but even with the technology, it doesn't guarantee a fish to bite and you to subsequently hook them. If you've never tried live scope fishing, I encourage you to reach out to Jason and book your next trip. I'd love to know what you think. I can guarantee I'll be doing it again. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this video with someone who might enjoy it.